Thank you for listening to the Gateway to the Rockies podcast from Visit Aurora from the rafters of the Stanley Marketplace. This is the show dedicated to telling the stories of Aurora, Colorado. Hi there, I'm Dave, Director of Marketing for Visit Aurora. Today we're catching up with a familiar face, Jonathan Woodward, Vice President of the Aurora Economic Development Council. Jonathan first joined us to talk about the work AEDC does behind the scenes to help Aurora grow and thrive. This time, taking the conversation a step further from major business investments and innovation to workforce development and the exciting projects shaping our community. Jonathan, good to see you again, sir.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, since your last appearance on the podcast, what would you say have been some of the biggest economic development wins for Aurora that most residents or visitors may not have noticed?
So the area of the most growth that Aurora is seeing is the E470 corridor. And specifically for where my work is largely concentrated, it's south of the airport, so south of Den. I'd say two major projects are the Philip Morris International facility, which took about 3 years for that to come to fruition between site selection, process, permitting, construction, hiring. They just had their grand opening this week. So Philip Morris International, 500 new jobs to the city of Aurora is their first new project in North America in a decade or so. And then a little over $1 billion investment, a little over $1 billion. I think it's 1.2 is what the Aurora Sentinel reported. So big project for Aurora, a large manufacturing company that is internationally known. So that's the first project that probably little known until now. And then second is a headquarters project where we work on Arca Industries, long-standing family-owned trades company and manufacturing company. They closed their headquarters in Denver and relocated to Aurora. In my line of work, you always want to land a headquarters project. That's like the ultimate gold star is if you can get a headquarters building, office and industrial. So Arca Industries opened up here recently, and they were transferring a little under 1,000 employees here and then hiring another, call it 900 employees in Aurora. So those two I'm most proud of, and they're very, very recent. I would say infrastructure as well. 64th Avenue near the Gaylord has been built. It now extends over E470. So not quite as grandiose and not quite as sexy as a big name company, but infrastructure is important for economic development. So roads and bridges are still necessary for some of these projects.
Yeah, when you hear the term economic development, you think of attracting businesses, which is certainly a big part of the equation. But what does that actually mean in a more 360 view for someone who simply lives, works, or just visits Aurora?
Sure. And I think it's important to note that economic development is a very broad term that is used differently by different entities. In my world, it relates to primary jobs, creating, retaining, and attracting businesses who provide primary jobs. So not a retail job, more a job where they are making something or providing a service that gets exported beyond the region. Why that is important for the average Aurora resident is it is new job opportunities for them. So if you are out of school, maybe college didn't work out for you, you can apply to be a journeyman or an apprentice at Arca Industries. You can apply to be a technician in a advanced manufacturing company like Philip Morris International. So it's added job opportunities to the residents. And then you always hope that there's a bit of a spillover impact where those companies will maybe attract some retail services. There is a real big need for sort of fast casual dining south of the airport, not on Tower Road or on the Aurora side. So you hope that a large concentration of employees will lead to more retail and commercial opportunities.
Assisting in these endeavors, what are you finding that companies are looking for when it comes to a destination? What are some of the high priorities for these industries right now?
Right now, what we're seeing is companies who need land to build out their own campus, whether it's a manufacturer, whether it's aerospace and defense, whether it's a data center. These companies need a lot of acres, usually over 20 acres, up to 100 or maybe 200 to establish a campus. That's the biggest need right now. So fortunately, Aurora is not landlocked, so that is one of our strengths. We compete with other markets in Colorado for this. We compete with other states like Arizona, Utah, Wyoming, even, believe it or not, for these. And those states have a lot of land. Texas, we compete with Texas for a lot of projects. They have a lot of land. So in the industrial world, the manufacturing world, that's typically what companies are needing. It's land, a business-friendly government, a government who's going to be fairly transparent with permitting, and then workforce too, which we'll get into more later.
Yeah, how do you think Aurora fares as an attractive place for these companies that are looking to expand? Obviously, you talked about the open space, but how is Aurora positioned competitively in this landscape?
We do well in the trades and manufacturing space and aerospace and defense. Healthcare, I'll get into a little bit more of that later, but we do really well in those realms and those job sectors. That was part of the reason why Philip Morris International chose Colorado or looked at Colorado, was because of the available talent, meaning the engineers, and they knew they could find technicians to build the product. That helps to offset the high cost of Colorado. We're a high cost market. We say we're rivaling California in terms of cost, but we're very expensive, more so than a Texas or Utah. So we have to stand out, and we do stand out from a talent perspective.
A big thing about our mission here at Visit Aurora, we're the cheerleaders of the destination, but we are also supposed to be an economic driver for the city. From your perspective, how does tourism in particular and economic development kind of work together to strengthen Aurora's economy?
Tourism is oftentimes the first impression that somebody has of a community. I read recently, I think this came out from Visit Aurora, that the Gaylord was ranked number 2 for events in the country through Cvent.
Yep.
It's a really reputable application used for tourism and events. So people going to the Gaylord may be seeing Colorado for the first time. They may be seeing Aurora for the first time. So you see the mountains in the background, you see downtown, and then you see the new rooftops, the new industrial buildings. So tourism, a lot of time, in my opinion, is the first impression. And I think it's important to piggyback off of that and to work off of that, because a company who is holding an event at the Gaylord, maybe they are in expansion mode, and maybe they'll see available land parcels and business parks and realize that this could be a good place for them to grow. It's a way, I think, for a community to show the best that they have up front. So whether it's the Gaylord or the Stanley Marketplace, I think that's a way for the city to leave a positive, lasting impression, that when it does come time for a company to expand, they can remember, oh, my time here at the Stanley Marketplace, I went to this restaurant, had this amazing food, or the Gaylord was such an impressive project. The customer service was wonderful. I had a great experience.
Another differentiator of our destination is our incredible diversity, not only in your cultural makeup, but also in skill sets, education levels, things of that nature as well. How do companies looking to relocate or expand view that diversity, and has it become a competitive advantage?
Diversity is very much a part of Aurora's story in a very authentic way, where we don't have to go out of our way to show how diverse we are. Just go to Sprouts on South Havana, go to an Ethiopian coffee shop, Lucy's, go to the Stanley Marketplace. You'll hear different languages spoken. It's very much part of Aurora's story, and it is something that companies have thought out. So I'll use the example of RK Industries and CTDI. They have very much approached some of these more ethnic churches and say, hey, can we work with you? Can you bring over some folks? Can we do a pastor tour? I'll get the word out to your congregation that we're hiring. And that travels through word of mouth with those communities in Aurora. And again, I don't think we have to go far to it's everywhere here. And it's very much what makes us unique, that people traveled, moved to Aurora, found their own community, and are thriving, and it makes us special. So
we spend a lot of our time promoting restaurants and arts and entertainment districts and our parks and our cultural events. Are companies looking at those assets as well when they're deciding where they're going to invest?
I've thought a lot about this question, and I think there needs to be a distinction between amenities and placemaking.
Yeah.
To me, amenities are what tourists look for. They're what residents look for. They're what office workers look for. Placemaking is more like public placemaking, like a Cherry Creek or a Union Station or a centered around an entertainment area. So to me, there's kind of a difference there. And I would say it depends on the industry. In my mind, placemaking in Aurora is Anschutz Fitzsimmons campus, right, where you have a true mixed use area. Nurses can walk to get lunch. People can walk to their apartments. They can walk to class. It's all sort of condensed right there. That to me would be a very successful placemaking. And they're still growing. They have a new master plan. They're adding more density there. So to me, that's sort of our version of a successful placemaking. I know HCA Health One is doing a lot more in terms of adding bike lanes, making it more walkable, having more seating for their students at the Galen and their nurses who are taking breaks. But I would say just to pivot to the industrial side, so like a Philip Morris International, RK Industries, they tend to create their own employee areas. So amenities within the campus for their own people. A lot of times that's just in a business park or an industrial park, which looks very different from downtown Denver or a Cherry Creek. But amenities are important. A lot of times those companies are buying a lot of land. They're building out their own types of amenities and creating their own place in the industrial park.
I had a conversation with Kelly Bruff about the Fitzsimmons Innovation Community. Some real exciting development on the horizon for Aurora. Another place that is kind of up and coming, developing in a really exciting way, and with kind of a technological and research and medical facing front. What's happening there that's exciting you the most, and why should Aurora residents care about what's happening in that area?
I think, again, I've thought about this as well. I think the reason why Aurora residents should care is they can go there for their own healthcare needs. But the reason also is that they should care or feel hopefully proud of is that people are coming statewide to go get care done there where it's at, whether it's at UC Health, their cancer ward. People are coming from around the state to go there, or Children's Hospital. God forbid you should need to bring your child to Children's Hospital for an accident. You're going to get world-class care there. And it's a great campus. There's a lot happening there. There are some challenges in the bioscience and life science industry right now. There's a real shortage of funding, and that's been a challenge. But I think what excites me about that space is that they are adding more housing. Hopefully will provide more folks to go to their retail establishments. They're updating their master plan, which I'm sure Kelly talked about. But also they have available lab space, which is hard to find. Well, it's good to show that there is a space. When you have a prospect, you can say, there's the space, you can move in here tomorrow if you really want to. It's easy for prospects to touch and feel instead of just looking at renderings.
I know when you embark on these endeavors to bring these companies to Aurora, these are multi-year propositions.
It takes many years for these things to happen. 3 years, sometimes 5 years.
Right. And that's assuming everything goes well and there's no global crises or whatever. But are there any developments that you're excited about or any prospects that you can talk to us about that you could share with us today?
I think from a mixed-use perspective, I'm excited about the I-70 and E-470 intersection. You're seeing residential and commercial and defense opportunities on the south side with Horizon Uptown, which has a new ownership group, and then with Aurora One, which is building houses, but also providing a defense specialty campus for folks who need SCIF space. And then there will be a retail component because you're along Stephen D. Parkway, which is a major arterial now. So I'm excited to see E470 and I-70, all four corners, build out right now. It's taken a lot of time for that to happen. On the southeast corner, you have a medical office building and then 2 data center facilities, which are built now. So you're seeing kind of that round out of industrial, healthcare, data center, residential, mixed use, and retail. So that's exciting because the I-70 and E470 are kind of the gateway to the metro area. When you were driving westbound on I-70, that's sort of the first impression you have of the entire metro area. So it's exciting to see those uses there. I'm excited to see in the future 56th Avenue build out even more. I know I touched upon 64th Avenue between the Gaylord and Jackson Gap. But 56th Avenue, I think, will be an important industrial and business park corridor for Aurora, and it has been widened. There's new construction there now. There are new sidewalks and new street trees. Really, the Windler mixed-use master plan community has kickstarted that, and then you have Sun Empire and Opus who have built some spec industrial, and the growth is continuing to march east along 56th Avenue. So that will be the corridor to keep an eye out, I'd say, for the next 5 to 10 years. Out as far as the Colorado Air and Spaceport. That's I hope someday that there will be projects that expand out that way.
Workforce development is a huge topic nationwide, worldwide. How is Aurora preparing, students and tradespeople and the workers that are available in the pool, not only now, but that are coming for the jobs and the companies that'll be hiring soon?
I think we're doing a really good job, and it's because we have willing and adept partners. So whether it's Community College of Aurora, Pickens Technical College, Aurora Public Schools, Cherry Creek Schools, and their innovation campus, I would say those 4 partners are very responsive, and they meet with industries. When we have prospect meetings, we will regularly bring in our education partners to some of these meetings, because when one of the factors for a company to locate to an area is not only can they find the land and the real estate, but when they put a now hiring sign out, are they going to find people? So it helps to have your higher ed and your K through 12 partners at the table. So I would say those 4 partners have been great. Some of them have created customized work training programs for some of those projects. Philip Morris International, RK Industries, who has a lot of apprenticeship opportunities there. So I'd say, again, Aurora has done really well in responding to trades and manufacturing and technician needs, and then healthcare is a whole other need as well. Nursing is the top posted job and has been for the last 5 years or so. So you're seeing companies like HCA Health One buying a college. They opened up the Galen School of Nursing. So they are quite literally training people to become nurses. The hopes that they will be a funnel into the HCA healthcare system. You're seeing something similar to that with UC Health. They are partnered with Aurora Public Schools to do a health tech school just down the street from here off of Peoria and Montview, I believe it is. So that will be opening very, very soon.
Nice.
So I'm very excited about it. Workforce and job training is a strong interest of mine, has been for a long time. And I think a lot of times it just comes with picking up the phone, pulling in people, because these schools want to prepare their students for jobs. Right now, it's all about job. Can these kids get a job? Can these CCA students and Pickett students get a job? So they've responded really well, and I think Aurora's positioned itself incredibly well.
Earlier, you talked a little bit about, the high cost of living for the region. Aurora a little bit better positioned than some of the cities we're competing against in the Front Range. There's also, headlines that happen from time to time that don't always paint us in a favorable light, for better or for worse.
What do you mean, Dave?
I can't get into that deeply. Are there misconceptions that you hear from companies that are considering Aurora, and how do you try to influence them, or do you not? Is it
there are many misconceptions of Aurora. Aurora is always fighting to tell our own story, and there are others who tell it for us, and they tell it very poorly. So that is common, and we have to dispel some of those myths, but also we're not afraid to address them. But the city shows really well, and I think once you get people here and you show them the sites, you bring them to places like Stanley Marketplace, or an ethnic restaurant or global restaurant on Havana, they can see for themselves that it is truly an authentic city, and it's a nice city. People are friendly here. People are really nice here. So I think once getting them in the door and then showing them around, it's very easy, but it is a challenge to dispel some of those. The headlines are, you want likes, you want clicks, you want people to click on it, and unfortunately, gore and violence tends to get people's attention. But again, once you get them here, show them around, you show them our showcase areas, they can see that that's not the full story.
And you've had a front row seat to the city's growth and development over the last several years. Is there anything about the evolution that has genuinely surprised you?
I have not prepared for this question, but I think that the city is fairly recession-proof and global pandemic-proof, and I think it goes down to the types of core industries that we have here, whether it's a hospital, whether it's Space Force Base, whether it's a trades and manufacturing company. These are all types of work where people they go there to work. They go there to provide healthcare. They go there to protect the country. They go there to solder pipe and work. We're a working city, and that's continued beyond 2020 and COVID, and we're in a recession now. Depending on who you ask, they would say yes. I think we've fared really well because we're a working city. We're a city where people need to go into the office to work or go into your place of work, unlike other downtowns which have suffered because the office worker, the dynamic has changed a bit. So I think that surprised me that we've to have people working in facilities at jobs that are necessary for keeping things going.
Yeah, there are a lot of numbers that are thrown at the wall when it comes to what economic success looks like. From your vantage point, what does that success actually look like? Is it more jobs, higher wages, stronger neighborhoods, more entrepreneurs, or something else?
To me, it starts with jobs, good paying jobs, and we're seeing I had a meeting today with Encore Electric, which has a fabrication shop in Aurora, and I asked them what they're paying on average, and they said, does that include the daily incentive? And I asked them what the daily incentive is, and they said on construction job sites, they will typically add $100 a day just if the worker shows up. So they're paying $40 an hour to work, and then $100 a day to literally show up. So these are good paying trades jobs, which then provides a pathway to the American dream. It allows you to buy a house, to buy a new vehicle, to cover daycare. So to me, it starts with the jobs, the types of jobs that are almost recession proof and that are in growing industries. It starts with that. To me, the rest kind of falls into place. We do have some great neighborhoods. If you look at the new master plan communities, there's a strong emphasis on parks, trails, and other quality of life elements. So that tends to follow. It's important to have a diverse set of industries. Don't put all, the cities who put all their chips in the tech box, like they're not doing really well. And I mean that for like office hubs, right? There's still a lot of vacancies downtown. So I think with Aurora, we have a diverse set of industries: aerospace and defense, government work, healthcare and life science, manufacturing, energy. Like those industries are very much in demand, and that leads to continued and steady employment and good paying jobs. So
there's been a lot made about AI, how it's going to affect workforce dynamics. There's definitely going to be some growing pains. What's your impression of AI's impact on the workforce, and how do we navigate that?
I think it depends on the industry that it impacts. I think for your average office worker, I think there will be a lot of displacement. I think if you're the average office worker, you need to start learning AI skills very quickly to help you sort through copious amounts of data, et cetera, et cetera. Secondly, I think I've been reading a lot about birth rates. Birth rates in cities are declining. The birth rate in the United States is declining. So to me, that means there will be a shortage of available workers. We're having less children. To me, AI might be able to pick up some of that slack in the future shortage of workers. So I see that as a benefit. Thirdly, I think for a lot of the workers that we have here, whether it's healthcare, defense, military, manufacturing, trades, construction, I don't see a large displacement in that because there is very much a human component to those industries. So that's kind of, but I'm curious about it, right? I'm reading a lot about it, and maybe I'm not smart enough to be terrified of it, like some.
We don't know yet, though.
Yeah, a lot of it's like
know.
we don't know. So like, why get yourself all worked up over something that you don't know, and how can it be used, right? How can you learn to use it? We're seeing it used a little bit in the site selection world, which for a city like Aurora is an incredible advantage. We're not a tier 1 city like a Miami, Dallas, New York, Chicago, Phoenix, right? We're not that. So if you optimize your website with certain phrases that AI can pick up upon, it's a way to use it as an advantage to get Aurora noticed, right? Economic development is getting yourself noticed in a crowded room. In my industry, I see AI assisting with that.
Nice. Hopefully we get together sooner than 5 years from now, but let's
Keep
say,
in mind,
yeah,
I'm happy to come back next year.
Absolutely. What do you think we'll be celebrating 5 years from now?
I hope to celebrate a kind of a major aerospace and defense project. I think Colorado is positioned really well to compete with kind of large aerospace projects because of the workforce here, because of the available land. So to me, I hope we can celebrate something in that aerospace and defense industry because it's not going away.
Yeah.
Whether it's space travel, whether it's straight up defense, it's very important right now. So,
are you game for a bonus lightning round?
Please.
I've got some
ready.
quick questions. I'm just trying to get a sense of your style and your taste in Aurora. What Aurora restaurant do you take out of town business leaders to first?
So I take them to the Stanley Marketplace.
Okay.
I'm not just saying that because your offices are here. I take them here because it shows really well and it's fun. It's a way to showcase Aurora in a positive but not confining kind of environment. And there are restaurant options here where you can kind of pick and choose based on somebody's mood. So I love taking people here to the Stanley because there's something for everybody and it shows people walking around having fun, and it's a very unique experience, authentic experience as well. So I take them here and I let them choose. I do like Chilin. Their noodles are phenomenal, so I will always kind of subtly direct people over there. But there are other fantastic restaurants here that, again, something a little bit for everybody.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, and I've already gone against the spirit of a lightning round, but, Stanley Marketplace really represents uniqueness and evolution and innovation as well, which is what I imagine a lot of these companies are looking for.
Yes.
What's one hidden gem in Aurora you wish more people knew about?
Hidden gems are many, and I think with Aurora and our story, it's similar in that you have to dig a little deeper. So some of the best restaurants are on not very attractive corners, but it's some of the best, most authentic food that you will find anywhere. I love Mango House. I think Mango House is a hidden gem that is so authentic and the food is so unique So that's one. And then there are plenty on South Havana that it's hard to name all of them. So Havana, Tawin on 12th and Yosemite, a very rough corner to look at, but the food is delicious and the people there are so nice. And the Mango House. So,
personal preference, coffee meeting or happy hour?
I'm a coffee meeting guy now at this stage in my life. So Logan House Coffee Shop is a favorite of mine. But then Lucy's Ethiopian coffee off of Mississippi. That's a really special place. And then near my office, Wake and Take is right there.
Oh, yeah.
The Ukrainian coffee shop that has incredible pastries. I like to go to Bon and Butter as well because I always love a good chocolate croissant or a scone. So those are kind of my regular rotation are those coffee shops.
You're passing with flying colors right now, Jonathan. What's one neighborhood you're especially excited to watch over the next few years?
To me, it's Ward 1. So East Colfax corridor, I believe in it. It's very challenging, but I'm hopeful. The formation of the TDA, it will clean up a bit, realize its full potential. It's a lot of great restaurants, corridor, unique places of entertainment like the Fox Theater, People's Building. So to me, I hope Ward 1. I'm always watching Ward 1. The Lowry campus, it'll be interesting to see what happens there as well, as the state will eventually turn it over for development. So that's very exciting to see that potential as well.
Last one, finish this sentence for me. Aurora's next big chapter will be?
Oh, I did not prepare for this one. Next big chapter, I would say, is the Aerotropolis region. So south of the airport, there's a large marketing effort called the Colorado Aerotropolis. There's a website now for it, but I think aviation and more aerospace, I think that will continue to be very, very important in the next chapter of Aurora.
Jonathan, the work you do is so important. Thank you for sharing your insights with us and your time today.
Thanks for having me, Dave. And don't wait 5 years to invite me. I'm happy to come back next year and talk more about economic development and jobs creation in Aurora.
We'll do it. That was Jonathan Woodward of the Aurora Economic Development Council. Learn more about their important work now at auroraedc.com. Visit Aurora is the official destination marketing organization for the city of Aurora, Colorado, and acts as the primary liaison between meeting planners and hotel partners. As Aurora's Convention and Visitors Bureau, Visit Aurora's mission is grounded in showcasing Aurora as a premier destination for meetings, business, and leisure travel. Visit Aurora represents more than 60 hotel properties with 11,500 guest rooms and more than 1 million square feet of meeting space, including Colorado's largest and newest resort, Gaylord Rockies Resort and Convention Center. As Colorado's third largest city, Aurora is located minutes away from Denver International Airport and showcases mountain views, memorable meeting spaces, and 400 plus international eateries that offer a unique experience for each and every visitor. As the gateway to the Rockies, Visit Aurora's role in the community goes beyond marketing the city as a destination. The Visit Aurora team is here to assist you with your Colorado visit, from facilitating your meeting, event, or convention to helping you discover local flavor and attractions. Go beyond the boardroom in Aurora. For more, visit us at visitaurora.com.